let's talk a little bit about a new horror movie called M3GAN that comes out this Friday.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we're talking a little bit about M3GAN, a brand new horror film coming out this weekend. Some new developments with the film have me a little worried, but I'm still going into the movie with an open mind, and I want to talk about them a little bit in this video. So before we talk about all this fun stuff, I'm going to need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. If you did that for old Jake here, well, I might just shed a tear, just one single lone tear going all the way down my face. To give a brief plot synopsis on M3GAN, the film is being described as M3GAN is a marvel of artificial intelligence, a lifelike doll that's programmed to be a child's greatest companion and a parent's greatest ally. Designed by Gemma, a brilliant roboticist, M3GAN can listen, watch, and learn as it plays the role of friend and teacher, playmate, and protector. When Gemma becomes the unexpected caretaker of her 8-year-old niece, she decides to give the girl a M3GAN prototype, a decision that leads to unimaginable consequences. So director Gerard Johnstone has said some very interesting things about the film, specifically speaking on why they decided to opt for a PG-13 rating over the original R rating they were going for. The M3GAN and former Housebound director Gerard Johnstone talks about his new film coming out this weekend, saying making it PG-13 was something that happened after the fact, but it was always so close to PG-13 anyway. It seemed kind of a mistake not to embrace it. I even remember thinking early on, this could be PG-13, and some of my favorite horror films like Drag Me to Hell are PG-13. So we made the decision to go PG-13 and actually reshot a couple of things. What I was really stoked about is that when we reshot those scenes, they were more effective. It's like, yes, you do have to cut away at certain times, but it's fun having to rely on sound and suggestion so much. Now, I think when you hear PG-13 in horror films in like the same sentence, everyone just goes, yeah, no, get that away from me. Heck no, I don't like those two things together. But in this case, I get it. I mean, this film is totally marketed towards like a younger audience opposed to like, 30, 40, 50-year-olds. It's a killer doll running around killing people. Yeah, it's targeted towards a younger demographic, so making it PG-13 makes a lot of sense. Will it result in a better movie though? That's something that I'm still kind of on the fence about. Something I've talked about in the past is how similar this movie is to Child's Play 2019, a movie that I'm just not the biggest fan of because they changed up the entire structure of what Chucky is and kind of just turned him into a regular killer doll opposed to the serial killer that possessed a child's doll with voodoo magic. Like, one of those things is just clearly way more interesting and way more bonkers opposed to just the standard typical killer doll route. I think because M3GAN isn't a continuation of a very popular IP though, I'm going to like it more than that film. The problem there though is I feel like it's going to be a victim of comparison because it's going to be lacking some really outrageous bloody kills like how Child's Play 2019 has. So this movie is, in my opinion, kind of in a tough spot, but I'm going into it with an open mind this weekend. I'm still really excited for it. The other thing I want to talk about and kind of correct is that the way that Gerard Johnstone talks about Drag Me to Hell, it almost makes it seem like Sam Raimi was in the same boat as he was with this film with Drag Me to Hell, but that's actually not the case. Unlike his past horror films, Sam Raimi actually wanted to make Drag Me to Hell PG-13 and not strictly driven by gore. He even stated, I didn't want to do exactly the same thing I had done before. So Johnstone is, yes, in a different situation, but I get the comparison between this film and Drag Me to Hell, but it's not the same thing. Like, they actually reshot a bunch of stuff to make it PG-13 for M3GAN, so it's a very different situation in my mind. Johnstone says that the PG-13 rating and the reshoots do make the movie scarier though, so we'll just have to see if it all lives up to the hype here on the 5th when I get to see it. And without spoiling too much about M3GAN, apparently there's a sequence in the film where the M3GAN doll attacks a vicious dog of Gemma's neighbor. The sequence now happens entirely off screen, leaving the audience to only imagine what M3GAN did to it. Talking about this, Gerard Johnstone says, I remember turning to my sound designer after a redo and just saying, holy shit, that's worse. We were trying to get this PG-13 rating and I was like, that is so much worse than what we had before. That is, in my opinion, a change for the better. I don't really like seeing good boys die on screen. I like me some good puppers. But honestly, after reading that article, I had a lot of doubts about the film and I was starting to kind of get turned off to it until I saw the clip that they released yesterday, which honestly kind of has me siding with Gerard here. I genuinely cannot believe that this movie is still going to be PG-13 after the clip that they released yesterday. I can't even talk about it. It was so brutal. Was it a little cheesy? Yes. But was it still brutal? Absolutely. M3GAN rips the ear off of a little kid. Like, this kid is like 10 years old and she's ripping an ear off of him like it's Reservoir Dogs. Dude, that's brutal, man. Listen, they had to cut out some gore is what they said in this interview and all that, but I mean, it seems like they still snuck a few little fun things in for us gorehounds out there. So listen, I don't want to set my expectations too high, but I am kind of going into this one with a positive mindset now. And I know some of y'all have seen it. I haven't gotten an early screener and it doesn't come out in the UK for another week. So please don't put any spoilers in the comments below. Seriously, please don't do that. Overall though, I'm excited for M3GAN and I think it's going to be a fun film. It's directed by Gerard Johnstone, who we've been talking about this entire video. He also directed this movie called Housebound though, that I highly recommend. It's a really fun little crazy horror movie that was a lot of fun in my opinion. It's written by Akela Cooper, who wrote 2021's *Malignant*, which is a massive standout from that year. If you have not seen *Malignant*, I highly recommend it. Go into that one blind. And the film is also produced by James Wan, who I just absolutely love. All the horror movies that guy has directed are pretty kick-ass. I really enjoy all of them. Even Dead Silence, I gotta be honest, I like that movie. Maybe that's a hot take, but Dead Silence goes kind of hard. It has like the Saw editing still, which I think is really interesting. I don't know, I dig it. There are a few other things that have come out about the film, including a brand new featurette that came out today where Allison Williams hilariously says this.
Nothing bad happens, it's a comedy.
If you don't know, Allison Williams is also in another little movie called Get Out. You might have heard of it, I don't know. It won an Oscar. Horror movies don't do that all the time, so that's pretty exceptional. Allison Williams is a phenomenal actress, and I'm really excited to see her alongside Violet McGraw from The Haunting of Hill House, little Mike Flanagan joint. That's pretty good. Only seen a couple episodes of that, but I hear it's fantastic. The film is also coming from Blumhouse. Once again, pretty hit or miss studio in my opinion, but the good stuff is good. It is. Look at Insidious. Look at Sinister. Look at Paranormal Activity. All good stuff. Halloween 2018, Whiplash, Get Out. I mean, come on. You gotta admit they have some pretty good movies, but then they also have things like Fantasy Island and Truth or Dare. And then I'm just like, what the heck is this? Another clip that got released from M3GAN a little while ago is this scene where she kills somebody with a pressure washer. And I think that's a very underutilized weapon in horror films. And I'm glad we're using that here, even though I think realistically it would probably blow M3GAN back too. But I don't know. Do I really care about legitimacy in this movie though? Not really. I kind of just want to see this crazy little doll mess up some people's lives. And possibly end them too. Ooh, nasty. M3GAN releases in US theaters on January 6th and UK cinemas on January 13th. It's pretty much the first big horror movie of this year, and my god, do we have many more coming up later on in the year. I don't know if 2023 horror is going to top 2022, but it's definitely gonna come close. There are some big hitters coming out this year that I am super pumped for. How are you guys feeling about M3GAN though, if you haven't seen it, of course? Are you going into this thing with more of an optimistic mindset or more of a pessimistic mindset? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this brand new update video on M3GAN. Make sure to check out my review of the film Friday morning, and also I'll be doing a little live stream with some of my buddies talking about the film Friday night. Please consider supporting me on Patreon as well, or becoming a channel member by clicking that join button on my page. I'm also working on 2 other channels right now, including Movie Smoothie, where I'm covering Rick and Morty updates and some other stuff in the future, as well as a gaming channel called GullGotha. So make sure to subscribe to both of those pages. The links for those channels are in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.